I'm slow, which means I was just getting to the point in my Kindle Vella where I would have been able to start making money if people bought chapters. I just thought I wasn't getting reads. And hello, friends. So, welcome to this video. This is going to be a mid-year check-in. Yes, I have a mic. I'm trying to make sure I don't move my hand as much, but if this isn't your first video, I'm very hand expressive. It's been a challenge. I don't like the idea of clipping it onto me, which is why I'm holding it. When I edit these videos and they get bad, I might just clip them onto my thing and do it that way. But this video is about updates for the rest of the year and how things are going. So I know I haven't really been on very much, so it's kind of like, unless you read my quarterly newsletters, you don't really know what's going on. But starting in mid-January, I was writing Project Blasphemy, which was my traditional publishing project, where I was writing a story based off of the god and goddess of death, Aztec death, the rulers, and it was their romance. Now, I have decided to put the story away, not away, put it down for a nap, for lots of reasons. One of the reasons is I'm struggling to write it. There is the downside, among many, to colonization is that the saying that the history is written by the victors, and even though we were technically victorious in the end from Spain, it still left problems. Like, a huge amount of our history is gone because it was destroyed. So there is actually not a lot of information on the god and goddess of death, at least from what I can find online. I reached out to someone about information and they kind of ghosted me. So they said they were going to send me stuff and then that never did. And it's just really hard. And I decided, I was like, you know what, I'll just write the romance, and I'll make sure that it has enough inspiration and enough homage and honoring of the gods. That has been hard because as I'm writing the story and I read other things, because I love to read mythology retellings in general, specifically Greek and Roman, I'm realizing that there are definitely some similarities to a lot of Hades and Persephone retellings. It's specifically in the sense of my god, which I will not say their name because I'm going to say it wrong. It's so difficult. Once I get a hang of it, I'll probably be able to figure out how to say it. But it's so difficult, and I already have a hard time saying names, so I'm just not. When I reference them, I'll put their name up. They're running a nightclub, and a lot of Hades and Persephone retellings have Hades running some kind of club, whether it's a nightclub or a BDSM club. He is running something. I mean, even in one of my favorites, Katie Roberts, because hers is within the erotica realm. Not that this is erotica. My trad projects are not erotica. They're just extremely steamy. But in Neon Gods, Hades doesn't technically run a club, but he runs like a private club. So still, when I realized that, I started to internally panic because I want to pay homage to my ancestors, whether I'm actually Azteca or a different one. It's hard to find information. And I started to get into my head, especially as it got difficult, and I started thinking about that more because the next book in the story is about two other gods who actually have a mythos, a story about them together. It's a tragedy that I can turn into a romance, you know, probably easily, like many people turn Greek tragedies into romances. Like, well, that's not Greek; it's William Shakespeare, but like Romeo and Juliet, technically a tragedy. People turn it into romance all the time. So, but in order to write that story and for that story to work how I'm slightly envisioning it, this one has to be written first. So, as I was struggling and my life was kind of going chaotic at the beginning of this year, I started thinking more about Project Blasphemy, which I wrote in a frenzy last year, which will be under my self-pub name for the erotic romance. And I started thinking about that more in connection to like Good Omens because it was inspired by that. And then also just getting so many more ideas for other projects that could go under that name, and kind of just hitting this wall and just not being happy. Again, I don't want to say I'm not in love with my characters. I'm definitely in love with my characters. I love what I want to do with Project Aztec Death Love and how I want to bring Aztec mythology into traditional publishing as more people read that than read trad. Read that than self. So, but I also realized the reason I was feeling pressured and pushed is I had fallen victim to the idea that publishing Latinx voices would fall away at like a fad. And I shouldn't think that because we're not a fad. We're here, we're alive, we're people, and we deserve representation, and we're not going away. We have a small foothold, but we have a foothold in the traditional publishing world, and we will get there. My story will go out when it's time and when it's ready. So in in coming to terms with that, I decided, like I said, to put the story down for now, for lack of a better word. Starting yesterday, no more writing it. Now, from this weekend onward, I'm going to be focusing on the Serapia Medill pen name, the self-pub stuff, because a lot of it is that I'm just so excited for everything to go under there. There's this level of freedom I feel in the idea of that pen name is whatever the fuck I want to do. I know if I want to be successful as a self-published author, there are definitely rules and things you have to follow, but at the same time, just getting stuff out there will be great. And I'm still having representation in all of my self-publishing things. There's at least one of the main characters is Latina somehow, and it, yeah. So that is happening. So starting July 1st, I will start editing the zero draft for Project Blasphemy into a first draft, starting then. If you don't know what Project Blasphemy is, Project Blasphemy was a story I wrote during Nano and finished the second week of January in a blur in a frenzy. It was the fastest draft I ever wrote. It was so much fun. So many feels, so many emotions, so many everything. And I'm not supposed to move the mic, I'm sorry. It was just a trip. And yeah, so the story was loosely inspired by Good Omens. I'm gonna have another video. I have a whip video explaining how that was inspired, so you can check that out up there. And but the quickness of it is that it is a story about the rapture, and it's well, sort of. So I have a Lucifer character, which is more like Angel Lucifer, not the devil necessarily. And I do play on names and titles in the book and have some explanations, but Lucifer, who is non binary. And then I have the Second Coming of Christ, who is a femme non binary person and also Latin. And God has told them to start the rapture, and they have decided they do not want to destroy the people and Earth, and did work on preventing that and falling in love. This is also a near future sci-fi fantasy biblical thingamabob that's erotic romance. So hence the title Project Blasphemy. And I loved it. I loved it so much. It was inspired by a YouTube short compilation of Crowley, and the music and the shots in that video were amazing and just would not leave my head. For the quick lowdown of that. So I will be working on that, and will probably become completely consumed by the project and by watching all kinds of Good Omens stuff, because that's what I did last time, and I'm just assuming that's what's going to happen. Part of the like falling into getting ideas and things like that before was I had already a vague idea for book 2 in this possible series, but I have more of an idea, and I've had little bits of thoughts that I'm not exactly sure. I do know I need to fix some things in Project Blasphemy's Zero Draft to make things work in in book 2. So I'll have to make decisions when I get to those certain parts in the draft, but that's a future me problem. And then I also have an idea for a prequel. So this will either be a trilogy, or it will be a duology with a short at the beginning. I haven't decided. That again is a future me problem. I could do a short because I could do it as like a reader magnet kind of bonus thing if I do a short. So that will be thoughts. But that will be what I will be working on, part of what I'll be working on for the rest of the year. The other part is Hungers'Desire. So Hungers'Desire is a serialized story that I'm writing, that I did put on Kindle Vella, and I'll get to explanation about that. First, let me tell you about Hungers'Desire. It has a title. It is published on Kindle Vella. So it is a story about a succubus and a vampire in, again, the near future, because I just can't, in a unnamed, loosely inspired Southern Arizona-esque type of place. And the problem that my two wonderful characters have is, my vampire character is Latino. Let me throw that again. I have at least representation, some kind of representation in everything I do. So, my succubus and my vampire have a very unique problem. So their unique problem is they are abnormally hungry and thirsty more than the average creature of their respective species. So it is the holiday season. They celebrate Yule Fest, and they have, well, my succubus character has gone out to just go find food. She's gone out to go find a male that she can get food from, because succubuses consume ejaculate, as I try not to get demonetized. Or at least I don't want this video demonetized. But so she has her goal is just to go out and get food. My vampire is out on the prowl, not necessarily to get food, but he is out to find a date. He is out. The perk of this date is that, yes, he will have a sustainable food source for the holiday season, but also he runs a big company and he needs a date for the parties that he will be going to. So our succubus and vampire are so hungry and so blinded by their instant attraction to each other, and again, their hunger and thirst respectively, that they misinterpret that each other are human. And it isn't until they are having intercourse and afterwards that they realize, oh, you are not human. And there are other problems with them being not human and together, which I touch on. And yeah, so there's that story. While I'm editing Project Blasphemy, I will be continuing to write Hungers'Desire. Now, there is a new website called Ream Stories. A lot of people within the authortube community have been talking about it, and it's slowly building, at least within the authortube community. They have a lot of people from word of mouth, from authors sharing on like Facebook groups and stuff, which I'm not very, I am not after that at all. I really hate Facebook. I hate Facebook in my personal life. I literally have one. My husband and my mother tell me everything I need to know about family stuff, and that's it. And people message me on Messenger occasionally, and that's it. End of story. I hate Facebook, but I love Instagram. So you can find me on Instagram. All those links are down below on the beacons, which are my link trees. But the company I use, that's like a link tree. So I had been looking into Ream Stories as someone within the authortube community suggested it, and I reached out on our Discord and talked about a couple of other people, and some people liked it. Someone else was thinking about trying it. So I looked into it. I watched some things. They have some YouTube channels, and I was skeptical. I made an account and started setting up a page just in case. But it was more of like I set up a couple things, looked at some stuff, and move on. Then I heard about the changes Amazon made to Kindle from some YouTubers I follow that put out Kindle news. Because somehow I'm never following or getting emails for things. I don't know how this works. Lovely YouTubers giving me the information I need. So, as a slow publisher on serialized stories, because my friend Bungle is helping me edit as an alpha reader my chapters, as I am dyslexic and I have a really hard time with tense, I feel like more abnormally than others. They say no, but they could also be just being nice. I don't know. Either way, I'm very determined to write Hungers'Desire in a tense that I don't usually write in, and it is a huge struggle for me. Also, when I think I'm writing in the right tense, I'm still not writing in the right tense because my brain just doesn't know what the fuck it's doing. Yay, learning disabilities. So, I'm slow because besides me writing it, I then have to wait for Bungle to then look it over and make sure it's readable and makes sense, and then I can post. So, I'm slow, which means I was just getting to the point in my Kindle Vella where I would have been able to start making money if people bought chapters. I just thought I wasn't getting reads. And then I went one day to check how many reads I was getting and realized I had gotten reads on later chapters. Why was I not getting money? I still was like, maybe, something. I wasn't even sure how to look or if I was reading something wrong. And that's when I saw the videos. So now the first 10 chapters or episodes on your Kindle Vella are free. I do not have 10 chapters up. Hence why I wasn't making money when I thought I was or should have been. Also, they're running a promotion, which I get as a promotion in the hopes of like people will continue to read after the promotion is over. But if you have a YouTube, not YouTube, if you have an Amazon student account, like college students, all of them can read for free, which means I don't make any money. I think you get like 2 pennies or something like that. And I'm just like, and that's only if you have enough reads, I believe. I forget exactly how someone said it. Either way, someone like me, no, I'm shitted out of luck. That was it. That was my last straw with Kindle Vella. I already, as a erotic romance writer, am on the downside. Algorithms don't like me. Nobody likes me because I'm not safe for work, even more unsafe for work because I label things as an erotica because I believe in what the whole point of an erotica is, which is about the sexual journey of a character, not necessarily about the sex, but the journey that they take through it. So I was like, you know what? Fine. I will just leave. I am well aware that when I put out like Project Blasphemy, when I put out a book that will be an erotic romance, I will have problems. But there's a lot of tools and a lot of things that I knew that I could use to help me. And I was ready for that. Now, granted, I did not do a lot of good marketing because I was going to wait until I got to the pages that were going to start making money to start marketing. Yeah. So I was just done. Now, I do have Hungers'Desire on Ko-fi for any international viewers who, because Kindle Vella is also just US based, continental US, I should state, because I have friends in Puerto Rico who can't use Kindle Vella. And yeah, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stop. So this month being June, because I'm not sure if this video will come out this month or if it will come out right at the beginning of July. Either way, in June, there will not be an update to Hungers'Desire on Kindle Vella. I will be taking it down. And I'll probably wait till like maybe the second week of July because you're supposed to have the last chapter up for 30 days for viewers. So yeah, I'll be taking it down and it will still stay on Ko-fi, but I will be activating that Ream Stories and I will be slowly publishing it on Ream. So we'll start back up at chapter 1, and we'll publish bi-monthly until I get to where I'm at now, and then go back to a monthly schedule. So that is my plan for right now. Once we are done with Hungers'Desire, I will be closing my Ko-fi membership for where the story is, and then Ko-fi will just be for the Dolores Medallion. It will just be for Tradpub because Ko-fi does have a not safe for work policy, and much also like Patreon and a lot of other places like that. They also use PayPal, which is very strict on their not safe for work stuff. And I'm constantly afraid because of, am I writing the line? I don't feel like I am, but it takes one person to complain. So that will be that. The benefit will be is, again, I'm not gonna stop publishing on Ko-fi. That will be ahead of Ream. So if you want to read ahead, you can go there, and that will finish early. Ream Stories does have like a mature, not safe for work policy, but it is not strict and limited like everyone else. Ream Stories was created by authors, and it is created for authors. One of their co-founders is a steamy romance writer who had a lot of trouble on a lot of those other programs, specifically one, but they're choosing not to name them, so I will honor them and not to name them. That where their account was being terminated or canceled, and they were losing information and work and stuff. So, and I really don't want that to happen, especially as Hungers'Desire is self-published. It's just me and I. So, yeah, that's that. So, Ream will be published or launch at the end of July. So when that's active, it will be updated in my beacon/link tree thing down below. You can click that, and when it's live, the tree will be updated, and you can go find my Ream from there. And it will be behind a paywall, just like Ko-fi is. And I haven't decided if I want to put the first 2 chapters up for free, or do I want to just put it fully behind a paywall. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, so that will be that. On my Ream, I'm going to have another video talking more about Ream, or at least I hope so, giving myself lots of work. But my Ream will have memberships for just if you want to read the serialized fiction, because I know I said in a past video somewhere or on a stream that I wasn't going to write serialized fiction ever again because it was a lot of work. I actually have a story idea that I think would be great for serialized fiction. And now that I'm like, you know what, I don't have to feel pressured with serialized fiction by not being attached to like Radish or Dream or Vella. People will understand me and how I function and will read what I put out. So I'm fine with that. Once Hungers'Desire is done, then I'll start the next one, which will be something totally different. I have decided that my serialized fictions will either be one-shots or will connect to like a novel later. Whether they're like a sequel or a prequel will be just to be determined. But that's what that is. I will also have another tier list for like sneak peeks and like kind of like behind the scene kind of information. And then I'll have another one where you get access to like ebooks and stuff, which is a very standard tier list for Ream. I also will then have a couple other ones with more advanced things that what I'm planning to do is have them say unavailable right now or something. I'm going to launch them with the launch, with the hopes that nobody will actually sign up for them just yet, because they are kind of like on the more expensive side anyways. But on the picture, I'm going to put unavailable right now or something like that, so that people do not sign up for those until I am ready, which won't be until Project Blasphemy is ready to go up and publish. So, yeah, because that will be up first. I don't know when Hungers'Desire will be over, but when Hungers'Desire will be done, when it's all done, my plan will be to take it off of Ream. And by then, Kofi's will be done and taken off also. But it will be taken off of Ream after, I don't know, I haven't figured out how many days before. At least 30 days before I put it back on Kindle Vella, just to get more views possibly, and I'll be able to publish at a faster rate, like how Kindle Vella likes, because I'll have the whole story. While that's publishing on Kindle Vella, I will work on forming it into a book, and then the book will come out of Hungers'Desire as a novel. So that is the plans for that, and that will probably be how all my serialized fiction will work. I'll put it out on Ream, and it will be slow, and then it will go out on Kindle Vella fast, and then it will be a book. So that is my thoughts for that. Now, who knows how quickly I will edit Project Blasphemy. I do know that I'll probably have to let it sit, not for as long, maybe just for like a month or so, just to kind of refresh my brain while I'm doing that. And maybe if I need a break or something in between, I'll have that. And then I will be writing some short reads. So Project Blasphemy was supposed to be a short read. That failed, obviously. It is a full-length novel. I don't remember how many words it has, but it is not a short read. Nowhere close. I blew past that so quickly. And but I still want to try. I really, really want to try, especially as I have a hard time writing short works. The closest thing to any kind of short fiction that I write is my poetry, and even then, my poetry is long for poetry, so I have issues. So I have an idea for a short read. Lots of short reads are about small towns. The setting is a small town. Small town doesn't really matter necessarily, whether the small town itself is a character or not. The point of the small town doesn't matter. It's just about the love story happening within the small town, and then there's certain types of shenanigans you get into at a small town. So my short read concept is that, obviously it's a sci-fi. This is a pure sci-fi. There's no fantasy, at least right now. Besides doing some time wibbly wobbly sci-fi things. But so it will be about some humans that now live as a colony. That's my version of small town. Some humans that live on a colony on either Pluto or like Neptune. I haven't decided. They're living there mining for resources that we need back on Earth. I'm not going to say what we're mining because I'm not ready to share that fully. But they are mining on these planets for resources, and they've been there for a while. So they're like an established small town. And my goal with these stories are just to write romances that happen here. What they're mining, how the mine works, things like that isn't really what matters. What matters is this family I'm going to follow, which is going to be a family of Latinos, Latin people, and their journeys living out here on the outskirts of the galaxy. Not the galaxy, but of our solar system. And how that, works and functions, and again their love story and things like that. So I live in southern Arizona, and a lot of our towns, ghost towns or still booming towns, were built on mines, on the sense of they were close to a mine, people needed to live by, other people moved in, boom, you had a town or a village. This town that I live in, we're kind of like a split town, where there was a couple of other couple of couple of reasons for this town to be built, but one of them was a mine, and we still have an active mine by us. So that is kind of my idea. Wild West kind of situation. And maybe I'll throw in some, Lone Rider situation things. But that will be my fun thing to write, my proper test, my proper struggle, I guess, because again, I don't write short fiction. It's very hard. So it will be a journey to get to that and through that. So that is what's going to be for the rest of the year. It will probably bleed into the next year. But when the end of the year comes and I do my goals for the year, I will reevaluate anything about that. If I'm still taking a break from all my trad pub stuff. The only thing I'll probably still be talking about in regards to trad pub and doing will be poetry, and again, maybe trying to work on some short fiction. So yeah, that's it. That's the plan for the rest of the year, is focusing on the self pub. That's why I'm excited. I should lean into it and just work on that right now and learn and go through those hurdles. So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being interested. Again, if you want to support me and what I'm doing, you can check out the Ream for any of this content. You can also go check out my Ko-fi if you want to just do a one-time donation or something. But if you want access to stuff, the Ream will be where it's at. Unless you want to read Hungers'Desire as it's coming out, then again, Ko-fi will be where that is, because that is going to be, I'm going to continue to publish that as live versus Ream will be behind. So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys in the next video, and hopefully over on Ream, where there'll be fun things in the future. That is my hope. Goals, all the fun things. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Greatly appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. Tell stories and prospect.